And it's Monday, y'all. And I hope everybody had a great weekend. And as always, I got my main man, Freddie. Jersey Fred, what is popping, my brother?
Oh, nothing much. Getting ready for summer, as I say all the time, because I'm waiting for it. It's not.
It's
It just
crazy,
doesn't
right?
want. It don't want to come here. Like it. But this is going to be our last shitty week. I feel like
Yep.
it's supposed to be in the 80s, 90s. Actually, last Thursday was 92 degrees.
Okay.
So that was cool. So this week is going to be 80s, 90s towards the end of the week and stuff. So this is it right here. This is I feel like, and I've been saying this, I feel like to you a lot. I always say no, this is the last rainstorm and then it's going to be nice for the rest of the summer. I feel like this is the one, bro. I mean, we're in the middle of June.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Dex had a baseball game on Friday. It was 62 on that side of town, and we were wearing sweatshirts by the fourth, fifth inning.
Yeah, that's unacceptable in June.
In June. But you know what's funny is I leave for vacation tomorrow, heading to California. Going to be golfing in 100-degree weather. And that's funny because I said when we booked this trip, I told Sarah, I was like, I don't know if I want to leave Michigan in June. I'm glad we're leaving.
Yes.
I'm glad we're leaving.
Yeah.
I need the vacation and I don't care. Like the courses are going to be empty. Nobody except Michiganders are going to be golfing. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it. When we'll talk about the trip next week. Palm Springs. Playing 3 different courses. So I'm looking forward to playing 3 rounds of golf, and then the last day we're just gonna chill, and then we'll be home Sunday night.
Okay.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday golf, Saturday chill, Sunday coming home.
You know me, I'm a big research guy, so I'm gonna get you some spots out there to eat at.
Oh yes,
I'm that guy. Text me where you're staying.
100.
I'm gonna be sending you shit constantly.
Yes,
about
I would
places.
Yeah, I would love it. I'd love it. Well, let's just get right into it, man. I was blown. Well, you know what? Let's actually start with this. I have a question for you. Okay. And this is a Little League baseball question. Okay. So Dax is in a tournament this weekend. They win on. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm trying to figure it out when you texted me. And the only thing I can come up with is a kid stealing third and the kid doesn't get out of the batter's box.
Yes.
I knew it. Dude, stop.
Okay. All right. Let me recap.
So tell me how it went down.
Friday he wins.
Yeah.
Saturday they lose. In the bottom of the inning, kid scores on a lay down bunt. Great play. Dax was a little bent out of shape because he got bumped out of the way by the pitcher. He thought he could have made the play. He was playing third. Okay. Understandable. So they go into Sunday. Didn't play good. Neither team, in my opinion. It was your typical, if you have a child of that age who plays in a tournament, your Sunday morning game, just kind of lackadaisical type situation. So bottom of the inning, we're down 2 runs. Man on first, third. Dax is on double deck. So I'm, as a dad, you're like,
yeah,
he may get the opportunity to either walk this off or we're going to be crying for the rest of the day.
Long drive home.
Yeah, right. So the guy on second steals third. The umpire calls batter interference and ends the game on that call. 2 schools of thought here. Okay. Number one, if you're an umpire, which I can wholeheartedly tell you I have a ton of experience umpiring, you don't end a game like that. This is not the majors. It's a U11. Let the kids play. Having a conversation with another friend of mine this morning, ironically, and he says, that's a bullshit call.
Yeah.
If he was stealing home, okay, but not third.
Yeah, so it's a gray area with that whole, do you move, do you not move? Because some guys will call it if you don't make an effort to get out of the way, and some guys will tell you, don't move. Like, now, if you intentionally try to interfere with the catcher throwing a third by like backing up and getting in his way, that's different. But most of the people, even at my level, on my Sunday leagues and stuff like that, it happened 2 weekends ago, and no one was called out. But
that's the other thing. Like, this 11-year-old did not have intention of doing what
that's
he
the
said he
thing.
was
Yeah.
doing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, they're not at that level.
And also, he can call it an interference warning, send the kid back to second. I mean,
100%. I thought the same thing. A warning would have been perfectly
now
fine.
The other coach may bitch and moan and be like, well, what the hell? There is no warning for that and stuff like that. Listen, I'm giving him a warning. I'm going to send him back, dead ball, but it's like I'm telling you that the rule sucks, because there's the don't move at all. It's your box. Then it's, well, you need to give the catcher a lane. So I have to move. So when I do move, if I'm not opening the lane for him and he's actually moving with me, now that's an interference too. So what the fuck do you want these kids to do? And a lot of the kids, like when we were coaching Little League and stuff like that, it's drop down. So then you can't get called for anything. Just drop straight down, and you're trying to get out of the way, and you're staying in your box. The thing is, it's bullshit, though. It's bullshit.
In the game like that, it's absolutely asinine in my opinion. Like, let the kids play. Like, I even texted my dad. My dad didn't make that game. He was at the day before, and I texted my dad, and my dad just responds with, "What? Let the kids play. Let the kids play."
I knew that was going to be the call when you texted me that, because I read it out loud, and Mary said, well, what's batter's interference? I said, the only thing I can think of is a kid stealing third and they call him out because the kid in the box moved around. Because first of all, a kid in the box at that age too doesn't want to get smashed in the head. That's what they're telling kids in high school to do. Catchers, hit the kid.
Yeah.
That's what they're telling kids.
But again, different age
group.
No,
on purpose, even if they are trying to get out of the way for an interference call.
Oh, to draw the interference call.
So the catcher. So if you're the catcher, just throw the ball right at the batter.
Right.
And then, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and then
right. Play it off.
It's such a bullshit rule, though. My other thing is this. I think the box is the batter's box. It's called the batter's box. And I'm going to say that if you don't move out of the batter's box, you can move within the batter's box. And as long as you don't move out of it, that's not my problem that I'm a righty and a guy stealing third the way that, baseball is run counterclockwise. That's not because if there's a lefty in the box, there's no call on that, right? So, if there's a righty, listen, it's not my fault that you have to throw that way and I'm a righty. So what should I do? Run out of the way? I don't even know he's going. Like,
my main focus is to be a batter.
I'm trying to get a fucking hit
out of your way. Right.
Yeah. You need to figure out how to get the fuck away from me to throw that guy out. I don't need to make it easier for you. Like, it just does. I hate that. And that's a shitty way to lose.
For sure. But it was good. I mean, for a while, it was good. For the team itself. Like, they played really well. Dax you would love this. Dax had an amazing snag at third, dude. They rifled a rocket at him. He just boom.
Nice.
It was pretty dope. But a lot more baseball. He's got a lot more to go. But, he's getting better every week, which is awesome.
Jackson Spikes is playing as we speak.
Right now.
You
got the Game Changer app going?
I do, but they got no video, so I'm fucking following. Awesome. Yeah, but like the first game was at 8:00 in the morning today, and the next game's at 10:45. So like, one sec, honey, bunny, hold on.
Oh man, he's always running something. So he's the man of the house. Man of the house. But don't stay tuned though. We're gonna get into some US Open talk. That's the crazy part here. All right, what's going on over there?
Well, we're letting the dog out, but I had to tell her that the guy left the gate open.
That would not have been fun.
No. Hank's a runner.
He is a runner.
Hank's a runner.
So 10 o'clock game. He plays at 8, plays at 10.
Dude, nobody should play baseball at 8 a.m.
It is early. Because you figure they want them there at 7.
But how's that a good idea?
Because they're trying to fit in as many games as they possibly can.
It's not good. It's just not good for the kid. To be honest, it's silly. The only thing you play at 8 a.m. is golf.
Fair enough. But speaking of golf, the US Open this weekend was incredible. In fact, like a couple of thoughts. Like I loved it so much. And I don't know if it's because the big name people didn't do well and everybody struggled. I think for the like the not diehard golf fan like myself, who just like, hey, I'm a big Rory guy. Like I want to see him do well. Probably didn't like this tournament. For the guy who is like myself, who's crazy about golf and will watch any part of golf, this was amazing. This course tore these guys up, and to watch them like do things that I do on the golf course was awesome.
Yeah,
but
it was very relatable.
Very relatable. Like you're in the rough, and then you try to muscle one, and it goes like a foot back into the sand. Like, yes, I've been there, Rory. I get it. Oh, you want to toss your club? First of all, let's talk about that. I'm done, Fred.
I mean, listen, he had a rough weekend.
Dude, he's had a rough 2 months.
Yeah,
he's being a whiny bitch. He's still chapped about the whole driver situation. Like, you are showing your true colors. He threw his club twice. Then he smashed the tee marker. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He took his driver and smashed the tee marker, which my buddy did that the other day. Broke one the other day, which was awesome. But like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm officially done. I'm on the podcast saying I am no longer a Rory fan. I lied. This is not his year. Although I'll say this. The win at the Masters made it. He deserves it. But everything after that, I don't see him winning again. He's got a terrible attitude, and he's just a whiner. He's a whiner, dude.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. The smashing of the clubs and all throwing clubs. The thing is, like you said before that, very relatable though. So like, I mean, your buddy just did that.
I laugh at people like that.
Yes. So it's entertaining.
Was it entertaining to see him hit? Although, did you see the one where it hit his bag and then it bounced back and he caught it? That was pretty sweet.
Now, I will agree with the one thing about him is that whole media thing. So, like him, I'm not sure if you watched the presser with him where because he skipped one day, and he was just like they were like, it seems like you're daring the PGA to like put some rule. He's like, no, I love the fact that I can skip the media.
Right.
Like I would not want, this is a great, thing to have. I agree with him, dude. I mean, dude, like the media is, it's cool, right? I was part of the media, right?
Yeah.
So right. And for a long time. So like, I understand, but I was also like a hardcore athlete junkie. So like I felt both sides and I never wanted to like press anybody. I was never the guy with the gotcha moment or like, I was always the nice guy when in interviews and stuff. But there's people out there that's what they do for a living, is bother people. So like it's like if I don't have to talk to you and I'm not gonna, then the next day you're gonna be like, hey, well, why didn't you talk to me? Because you're a dick.
Well,
Like
I wholeheartedly 100% disagree with you. And here's why I feel this way. When you are a professional athlete, whether it comes to the general public or whether it comes to the media, you are getting paid by media, sponsorships, fandom, ticket sales, merchandise sales, all of these things. With that comes the responsibility to talk to the media, talk to the fans, and everything. So unfortunately, that is the downside of being a professional athlete.
I'm not going to say that's true. That it's true in the NFL. You have to be accessible to the media on, I think, Friday or whatever. But then you run into the whole thing with Marshawn Lynch, right? Well, you're going to find me if I'm not sitting here. So then he sits there with the helmet on, right, and doesn't talk. That was amazing.
Right. That was awesome, by the way.
So,
but
like,
he fulfilled his obligation. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to sit here, or I'm just going to say no comment, right? Whatever.
He didn't say anything. So, yeah, he just had to be in the media room or available, which is great. Now, they don't have the same, rules and regulations with the media for the PGA. Now, my thing is, if you don't have media regulations and I'm in a shitty mood and stuff like that, it's better off I don't talk to you, because I'm going to say something fucked up and go viral and something stupid's going to happen. Like,
that's exactly what we want to hear.
That's what you want to hear. But like, yes, of course, the people want, everyone wants, and the one dude who's the dick wants that soundbite. I got that soundbite, right? So like, I'm not opposed to like people telling the media to go fuck themselves. Like it's not if it's not in your contract. If it is, like the NFL, like I said, I think it's mandatory in the NFL. The one day.
And I think it's mandatory in golf. I think you have to, if you play like crap, you have to come and talk about why you play like crap, because you want to be the first one to come up there when you play good. I don't
listen, Brad. It has nothing.
You want to attract more fans, right? There's a competition between PGA and Live. You want more people to play golf. You want everything. In order to do that, the players have to respond, good, bad, or indifferent. If I'm running the PGA.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. So if the PGA, if they implement that, then Rory has to talk to the media. But if they don't implement that, it's the same thing with any other job. If you can go out your back door at Oakenstone, and instead of going out the front door, and I'm out there saying, Brad, you sell any houses today? Why didn't you? Like, I mean, like, what do you mean? Why didn't I? Like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. But like, like that's the other thing too. Let's make sure we let it be known that these are regular fucking people also. Yes, they're athletes, and they're influencing kids, and they're influencing everybody, and they're making a ton of money. I get that. But on the other hand, they don't need to be berated.
Okay, well, that being said, like if you're taking that standpoint that you're influencing kids and you're doing this, and you throw the club twice and you break something, I think you owe an explanation.
Well, maybe he doesn't care about influencing kids.
I was frustrated, and this is how I took it out. Like, I don't know. I can't get down. Like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like, they're not making him, so he doesn't need to.
Yeah, but also
my argument is they need to make him.
But also maybe he doesn't give a fuck about influencing kids.
I know he doesn't give a fuck about influencing kids. That's why I don't like him. That's why my opinion of him has changed.
Like, he goes to work, he does a job, he goes home. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to
caddy.
Ew. That's no, I'm just saying I've seen so many people get sucked into that media thing and say something really fucking dumb. And
Right.
and
One of my
and
favorites one of my favorites of all time, and I'm trying to think of he's still on the air of this guy, the CBS guy. What in the whole Chris and Christine Everett. Do you remember that?
yeah, Jim
Probably
Rome.
one of the greatest things on TV ever back in that day.
Jim Rome.
Jim Rome. Yeah, Jim Rome. He's like, don't call
But
me
the thing
Christine.
is, look what happened to him though. He
He
got
got his ass
slapped up.
knocked out.
Yes. So like now here's the thing. They could act that way towards athletes, but athletes can't act that way towards them. That's
Right.
not fair.
It's a double
So
standard for
so
sure.
when a media guy asks me how come I'm being so terrible, I'm gonna start following him around and digging into his life and asking him questions. Why the fuck are you getting separated with your wife?
I knew you were going that way.
Like, dude, come on, let's fucking
again,
let's put our cards on the table. Now, here's the thing: the media doesn't have to talk about their personal life, so neither should the athlete.
I feel like you
let's put our cards on the table.
Yeah, but if you're getting paid that kind of money,
why though? Because he's getting paid
because
money.
I'm the fan. I'm the one who's paying the ticket prices. I'm the one who's buying the merchandise.
Listen, I mean, that's not his fault.
I think it's just a burden to bear of being in that situation.
I mean, I'm assuming that the sponsors can probably tell him that he needs to speak to the or at least plug their shit. Like,
right.
Hey, listen, I don't give a fuck if you talk to them or not, but at least fucking plug our shit. Like,
Right.
But
that goes into another thing. Sarah had made a comment. It was pretty funny. It's like, if you're a mediocre professional golfer, you look like a NASCAR with all the sponsors. Yeah. I would have one on my ass.
Oh, definitely.
Hardee's.
Fuck you looking.
Right. But let's actually talk about the best part about it, right? JJ Spaun. If you're a golfer and you went through what he went through, dude shot a 40 on the front, right? He struggles right out the gate. He chips on it, rolls down to catch a bogey on the first one. The second hole, he almost jars one, but it hits the flag and rolls 50 yards down a hill. Can you imagine being on the golf course? You would think you almost jar one for an eagle, and then now you're chipping from 50 yards away.
Yeah.
The common golfer could not even remotely, like people were saying, like, oh, I'd shoot 120. If you're lucky, dude.
Yeah.
If
I'm looking at
lucky,
like 140 area.
Every bit of 140. You can't putt on these courses. You can't chip. You can't hold anything on a green. These places.
If I was in the 140s, I would be pretty pumped.
Stoked. I said to my daughter Morgan, I was like, Morgan, what do you think you'd shoot at Oakmont? She's like 120. I was like, there's not a chance in the world. She's a good golfer. No. Don't get me wrong. Like, she's a good golfer. Like most people, you put her in a group, you're gonna consider her a good golfer. 120, no way. You couldn't hold shit. But the guy shoots a 40 on the front, right? Then he comes down and things start to move in his direction, right? He's getting some lucky breaks. And again, that's the beautiful thing about golf. You have to get lucky breaks, especially on a course like this. And then, so he hits a 40-footer, a 22-footer, and a 67-footer on the back nine to basically take home. 40, 20, 67. That's
the 67 was crazy.
67 was like, I couldn't even imagine what his thought process was when that putt went in. His presser said he was literally in shock.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking, I just want to be close.
Yeah. Because if he two putts, he wins.
Yeah.
He two putts, he wins. He buries this thing. He's a legend. And here we are. And the thing about it is, I'm not a JJ Spaun fan. In fact, I didn't even know about him until he went to the playoff hole with Rory about a month and a half ago, right? And dude, Sarah and I were watching it on the patio. When he hit that putt, we both went like crazy. Like, it was probably one of the coolest things I saw in a major. to watch this guy overcome it, and it was just incredible, man. It was such a fun tournament.
California guy, right? San Diego guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
San Diego. Nope, absolutely. But that's the beautiful thing about golf too. You win one major, and you go down in history.
Yes.
You're a major winner. You are a major winner. I think we need more majors.
Like 6 instead of 4. 6 instead of 4.
There's got to be like because they're so fun to watch, there's got to be like a couple more, but not too much that waters them out.
Well, like some A, B, like 1A majors. Right. Like maybe they're not considered a major, but they're like, I mean, the waste management is like a major.
The waste management is like a major, but that's like a fan
experience. It's a major for the fans.
It is a major for the fans for sure. But now here it brings up another thing that JJ Spaun may qualify for the Ryder Cup now with that win.
Interesting.
Which would be pretty cool. Who's
the captain?
Keegan Bradley.
Do we have that yet?
Keegan Bradley.
We do. Okay.
Yep. And
when is that? September?
Yep. I believe so. And in Bethpage.
Yeah,
right? Not far from you.
We're home.
Not far from you.
Long Island.
We should record live at the Ryder Cup. Can you
in Long Island?
Yeah. Can you pull some strings?
I can ask around. There's 2 courses there, right? Like, is there black? Are they playing on black?
I think that's what they're paying. Bethpage black.
Yeah, I ain't got a link that I can get on the other one.
We tried.
We'll be across the street.
That's fine.
There's no one here, Brad.
Catch the spillover. But yeah, that would be really cool if he goes into the Ryder Cup. But yeah, I don't know, just phenomenal, man. I want to see a couple more majors. I can't wait for the Ryder Cup. Like, Ryder Cup is like one of my favorite tournaments of all time.
You love that thing,
dude. It's the best, and I love it even more when it's in the United States. So as a normal human, you can watch it. I mean, I don't want to watch golf at 4 o'clock in the morning,
and you don't want to like
highlights.
Try to wait to watch it later on, and then you look at your phone and it's over.
It's impossible. It's all over. So if I'm not mistaken, too, Keegan Bradley, because he was playing well, he's struggling right now. He could have an opportunity to be a player coach.
Okay,
which would be pretty cool. I don't know if they've ever done that. That's a great question. All right, I told you officially done with what?
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. All right, so let's jump into NBA. I'm going to let you lead it off. I'm going to let you lead this off with the NBA. I want to know your thoughts. And was it stupid again? No basketball last night. I thought was pretty dumb.
2 fucking days off, dude.
Take
2 days off. 2 days off again, which forces the NHL to go 2 days off because they should have played tonight. Now they're playing tomorrow. So it's dumb. Indiana winning game 3 is huge, right? And then OKC, wins the next one, which was tight. It's crazy because they busted the spread. They did cover. OKC ended up covering that game 4 when they had no right covering. But free throws to try to extend the game at the end, and they end up covering.
Did you see my text in the group? I took Indiana in the over.
Yeah, you missed the over though.
5 points.
Yes, I know. That was game 3.
Game 3, you're right.
Yeah.
But a wise man once told me, don't bet the under.
Life is too short to bet unders. I would, unless you should have teased it. Well, you had only got like 4. But But OKC winning game 4, I feel like tonight OKC blows them out of the building, and then we're back to Indiana, and we'll see what they got left in them. Now, I think it's a blowout tonight. OKC. But here's the thing. So how we were talking about I was online. I'm digging through my phone and I'm looking for people who were born in Indiana to be at this game. And I can't even find people.
Why? Why are you looking for? Why you want to?
Because they have no celebrities, right? They got Reggie Miller. And
I thought you were talking about like friends of yours.
No.
You're talking about like what influential people.
Like, dude, listen. If I found a couple, like, listen, you got to get Vivica A. Fox there with Mike Epps. Like, you have to do that. Babyface, I found. Like, you have to have people there. This is ridiculous.
Okay, so your top 3 people born in Indiana that can sit front row: Vivica Fox, Mike Epps, and
Babyface.
Babyface. That's awesome.
But the crazy thing is, that's all you got.
That's
like
it?
I'm not really picking them over anyone else. Like, it's like
Marcus Freeman was there.
Who?
Marcus Freeman.
Is that a celebrity?
He's in the eyes of Indiana and Notre Dame fans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, get Danny Dimes there. Like, he's a cult now. Like, just
Danny Dimes is from Indiana.
No, he's a cult though. But like, how like some of the players.
I thought you said he was a cult. Yeah. Gotcha.
No,
Danny Dimes.
But like, listen, the biggest celebrity there are obviously Reggie Miller. Whatever. So then you got Ann Splashaway, right? She always goes to the games.
Right.
Boston, and it's CC, Boston, and a couple other girls go to the games, and then Halliburton and them go to the Fever games. That's cool, right?
That is cool.
So like, now I'm like, okay, like in my head I'm thinking, all right, like, what about Anthony Richardson or something, right? Like, get some
Peyton Manning?
Get some Colts there. Yeah, I mean, dude,
Reggie Wayne.
That would be awesome. Like, honestly, that would be awesome. Like, because like Vivica A. Fox.
Like, I don't hate Vivica.
I mean, listen, I know you probably got shit to do. I need you at the game tomorrow night. Can you call Mike Epps and maybe Babyface?
Maybe Babyface. Right.
He's probably doing a gig, but like, let's see. Like, we'll schedule it around him. Right.
You're probably a 3,000 seat arena gig, but you're doing a gig.
He's playing at the Gem.
There you go. I was trying to think of a smaller venue situation. So you say blowout. All right. I'm betting it because I lost all my money, a good majority of my money in golf, because I bet Scotty. I also bet my sleeper pick was Ludwig Oberg.
Okay.
Didn't pan out.
No.
But okay, I'm betting this game tonight, Fred. What am I doing?
I think now is when you go OKC and the over.
OKC and over. Done. I'm doing it.
That's what I like. I don't know, man. Those overs have been hitting in the NHL a lot.
I was just going to segue. Speaking of overs, let's jump into hockey, which I have to say, and I actually had a phone call with a good buddy of mine last week who is a huge hockey fan. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with how this Stanley Cup is going. It's pretty cool to go into as many overtimes as it has. To the game there, they were down where Oilers were down 3-0
in after the first period.
Dude, there was Florida people walking out after the second intermission, which was awesome. Like, yeah, go home.
Well, so Florida
get out of here.
Florida was up 3-0. Edmonton scored 3 in the second. Then Edmonton scores in the third, and Florida scores with 19 seconds left or something to force overtime. Like, right. And Edmonton ends up winning. But like, and that was in Florida.
Right.
And in game, it might have been game 1 or 2, Florida basically did the same thing in Edmonton. So like, out of the first 4 games, 3 went into overtime.
That's so cool. Absolutely awesome. Like, Do you think Edmonton has a chance to pull this off?
Well, it's in Florida tomorrow. I do think they do. I feel like, yeah, they can. I would like to see them at least tie it up for game 7, which would be fucking amazing. And that would be back in Edmonton. I do think so. Like tomorrow night's huge. I mean, like the elimination game, like tonight is not an elimination game in the NBA, right? So and it's still worth watching. It's just that, like tomorrow night on the ice, elimination game, man, like in hockey is just crazy. Like, and especially Stanley Cup final. So like I do think that they can win tomorrow night.
Okay, so my 2 bets this week, because I got to make these bets today because I'm
before
leaving.
You leave.
Right. You know how Cali is.
Yeah.
People out there actually
you're
have
gonna
bookies.
be you're gonna be Joseph. You're gonna be calling me to put them in.
Yeah. Okay, so OKC and the over, and then Edmonton and the over.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Should I bring them all together?
I'm not sure you should do something like that because you never do 2 days. 2-day parlay stuff. Because you lose today, and then it's you got nothing.
Well, then I jump back on and make the bet of the Oilers over.
Then,
but
whatever. You're gonna bet it anyway.
Right. Baseball, Fred. Baseball.
Yeah,
we both had a bad week. We both had a bad weekend.
We swept KC this week. We got swept by fucking Boston. Not the end of the world. Same thing with Detroit, losing 2-3 to Cincinnati. Not the end of the world. I mean, both in first place. I mean, where do you want to be right now? Like 100%. Both in first place.
And look, I say the same thing to my 11-year-old son. So I think I have to admit it. It's like, Dax, you're playing a sport that where 30% of the time you do your job, you are amazing.
Yeah. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. I have to keep that perspective. It's a long season.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, unlike you, Fred, I'm not used to being in this position. So you get nervous.
It's tough to get used to.
You get nervous when you see us lose to a shit team like the Reds. And you're like, how is this possible? How is this possible? Are we now going to only win games when Skubal pitches? Like, your head goes to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
of course. It gets a little dicey. It gets scary. Like, can we bounce back? I think they do. The good thing about the Central is now that they're not as good as they were. Like, they have no teams in the wild card now. So it's like right now, I think it's in the wild card. Let's say
right.
It's Tampa, Toronto, and Seattle. I mean, yeah, Minnesota's right there. A half game out or whatever. But I mean, at one point it was like Detroit in first place, and in the wild card it was like Cleveland, Minnesota, KC.
Yeah, right. Now they all kind of fell off.
Yes, which is good because the ebbs and flows and stuff. It's good when you're not hot and other teams in your division also aren't hot.
Right. Kind of evens it out.
Yeah. And with the Yanks losing to Boston, first of all, Devers, that trade is crazy.
I heard about
Devers
that.
to the Giants, like, wow. Like that's big time.
For sure.
And that whole division's crazy too. Dodgers and San Diego and the Giants.
Well, speaking of Dodgers, Shohei makes his appearance tonight on the mound.
Yes. Now he'll probably be restricted.
So what do you mean by that? Like 5 innings? 4 innings?
Pitches, probably. Pitches. Doesn't matter innings. They might go 60 pitches or something like that. I didn't really read up on how they're gonna like monitor them yet.
Right.
But because they really they're scared to pitch them because if anything happens, you lose the bat. Like,
right. And you don't want to lose that.
Dude, that's He is a stud pitcher. He's a freak of nature.
Let me ask you this, Fred. You're taking off the Yankees hat. You're the GM of the Dodgers. Do you pitch him?
Not yet.
You're saying it's too soon right now.
Now, my thing is this. I give him like as much off as he needs, right? Because here's the thing, Brad. This is a guy that can win the Cy Young and the batting title. So you don't want to like take that away from your team either, right?
Fair.
Now Kershaw's back. He throws a gem. Like what the fuck? Like these guys just keep getting like the Dodgers are just crazy. But so and now you got Ohtani. Like great, he's pitching too. Like this is the last thing the Dodgers need, or the rest of the.
That's kind of why I asked. That's kind of when I asked you that question is because like you guys are rolling, you're doing well. I think it's more of a risk by putting him on the mound.
Well, you got to see what he has, and you got to get his kinks out. My thing is, what I would have done is, this is just me personally. I put him in a blowout. Now,
there you go.
But the thing is, they don't want to hit him when he pitches and stuff. So maybe I put him in like 6th inning of a blowout or something. Let's see, or but I know they don't want him. They don't want him to bat when he's pitching. But the thing is, you're taking one of the best bats out of the game. Like
so, in normal situations, correct me if I'm wrong, he would pitch some in the minors to get like ready to go, but they don't want to lose his bat, so they can't do that, right? This is a different situation if you're a GM of the Dodgers, correct?
Yeah, you're not going to put him on assignment for like I mean, because for pitching, you're going to pitch every 5 days. You're not going to lose him for like fucking 10 days for him to go pitch AA, AAA. Yeah, so he was pitching live though. He was pitching live to live batters and stuff like that. So like and simulated games. Yeah, but like I don't like the fact that like they're trying to like they don't want to like sit him and then pitch him late in the game. It's just really it's interesting. Like I just hope that he's healthy, like because he's a total stud. I mean, a guy
you
who
want to see him play. I mean, they're going to be in the World Series. You want to see the guy do well. To win both the batting crown and the Cy Young would be crazy. Let me ask you this one. Let me ask you this one last question, and we'll move on to our last topic. How many wins does he have this year? Pitching wins.
So it depends because you can't get a win unless you pitch 5 innings, right? So that's kind of like a caveat. I'm not sure he goes 5 innings a couple times, maybe. I don't know if they're the restriction. I don't know how they're going to restrict them.
12? Over under 12.
I'm going to say under. I'm not sure he gets 15 starts.
Okay.
Because we're almost halfway there, right?
When's the All-Star break? Early July?
Yes. I feel like we're almost halfway there. In a normal rotation, you're going to get 30 to 35 starts. If he gets 15, you're talking about 12 wins and 15 starts. That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I could see it happening.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I just don't know if he's going to go past 5 innings. That's the thing. So like I would be surprised if he pitched 5 innings for the first time.
Yeah, makes sense.
They might have him on like 60 pitches, Brad.
Right.
He might pitch 3 innings, 4 innings. Now, nobody knows how he feels behind the scenes, though. He might be firing at all cylinders and just dying to get on the mound.
Right.
And have an 80 pitch limit for his first time out. Which
to see what happens tonight for sure.
It's going to be crazy.
All right, we got one last thing. Little teaser for next week, and then we're out of here. She's back, Fred. And Splashaway is back.
And Splashaway's back. Dropped 32 on my Liberty to give them their first loss of the year. Now, Stab had like 34, and Stewie had a bunch of points too for the Liberty. Great game. But she is back. 7 threes, 32 points. and Splashaway, dude. Like, get off. Like, hop off. Like, she's back. It's like, 50 prices went down 53%.
Ticket.
Viewership of the W was down 50% during her injury.
So and Splashaway games lost viewership because she wasn't playing.
Yes.
She's like the Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Tom
Aaron
Brady
Judge.
of Aaron Judge. Oh, there's a kid on Dax's team they call Mini Judge, by the way. You'd love it. They when he gets up, he's 99. He's just 99.
Nice.
So they're like Mini Judge.
That's hilarious.
It's funny. But yeah, she's up there, man. Like for her to take 2 weeks, 14 days, was that what it was?
Yeah,
14 days,
something like that.
And give the Liberty the first loss of the season with 32 points. Insane, man.
Yesterday there was a little scuffle again. Angel Reese got into a little bit. This time she was getting a rebound and the girl pulled her hair.
Nothing better.
As she was going up, kind of like,
Right.
So it was pretty interesting. They got into like a little thing and had to be like, listen, the W's hot right now. Like, it's pumping.
I'll have to say this from the start of this podcast to where I am now, Fred, I can wholeheartedly say that I'm starting to become a fan of the WNBA.
That's fucking amazing. That's all I wanted.
You did it, Fred.
That's all I wanted, though. I just wanted you to give the women a chance.
I'm giving them a chance.
Also, couple other things. Speaking of women, we didn't give Coco her flowers.
We did not.
French Open winner.
First American winner.
First American since Serena.
Right. 10 years?
17, I thought, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It's probably not that long, but yeah. And then Alcaraz, the men, Spaniard winner.
I had some buddies who went to the UP on a golf trip. Okay. In fact, the winner of our pool, Chase Man.
Okay.
It's his golf trip. Couldn't make it this year because I got a busy summer, but they said they got rained out on Sunday. They spent the entire time in the bar watching the end of that tennis match, and they said they've never been so glued to a tennis match and ever. They said it was awesome to watch.
The Alcaraz one?
Yeah. That's the one that went to like 5 or 4 extra sets or something.
Over 5 hours or something like that. The guy was at like match point a couple times. It was crazy. And I know it's not a big, I'm a sports junkie. So yeah, I would see it. Right. A lot of people don't.
But like in order to get a bunch of dudes who are not necessarily into it or sitting in a bar, giving them something to watch, they're going to follow this a little bit more going forward too. It was it's good for the game. And
we got the US Open coming in Queens. If you come out here at the end of August, we go out. You go in the early days, really cheap. Really? Some of the early, really cheap. Some of the the first week, really cheap.
That would be cool. That would be something different.
And I think Doug was looking to come out for the US Open.
Really?
Yes. Right. I texted him about his trip and stuff like that, and he said he may be coming back out. He would like to go to the US Open.
Interesting. So, if that's the case, I can definitely try to figure it out. But all right, so next week, I'm excited. I know we got a little teaser. Gary's back on, and we're going to be talking about his trip to the shore next week.
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on this week. And when we get back next Monday, you'll probably see some videos this week, right? Now you're going to be away.
I'll be watching.
So you're going to, So, which is great for you because it'll be even earlier. You'll be getting it on Eastern time.
Right, absolutely.
So,
all right, so next week
you'll be seeing some videos.
We're going to be talking about my golf trip. We're going to talk about Gary. Gary's going to be on. I just found that out. Fred told me Gary's on. I got to make
I'll
sure we're
confirm
good.
that.
Okay. So, okay. All right. I hope everyone has a great week. Fred, hold down the fort while I'm out of town.
Yep. And I'm going to start texting you some Palm Springs attractions.
Please do, because we're going to be talking
attractions.
food. We're going to be talking food next week too.
Definitely.
All right, bud. Take care.
Peace out.